Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 2 of the NHL 21 What If series presented by Pink Whitney. Actually, it's not, but we're doing Paul Bissonnette, Biz Nasty, former, Arizona Coyote legend, probably the best Arizona Coyote of all time. Sorry, Shane Doan. But Paul Biz Nasty, 1/3, I believe, of the Spittin' Chickens podcast. You could say 1/4 if you're throwing Grinelli in there. Formerly drafted in 2003 in round 4 by the Pittsburgh Penguins, but most notably, an Arizona Coyote or Phoenix Coyote, if you will. And I thought it'd be funny if we did a what if Paul Bissonnette was the GOAT. So let's get into it.
Herotheycallme.
So hey, let's play. I'm Herotheycallme. For those of you who don't know how this series works, we did one with Nail Yakupov a few weeks back, and this time we are going to go with an actual team I made, the Oregon Liberty. It's essentially just USA Americans, which we did in another video, which is just can we win with all Americans. So what we do here is I completely don't control this team at all. I just let the computer do what it wants to do for this creative team. I don't want to intervene with Paul Bissonnette's career. He's going to go into the draft. He is a 99 overall, 99 stats and everything. Except for his discipline. So we're going to see exactly where he goes and how his career goes. So there you go. If you want to take a look at what they drafted, there's your team that you're never going to see me play as. Here we go into the actual draft that matters, and Oregon got the first overall pick, which means they're probably going to take Paul Bissonnette, which means I'm probably going to just trade it off because I don't want him to go to I want him to go to an actual team, not a made-up team. So I'm going to offer just the trade for the first round pick, and we'll take whatever. The Detroit Red Wings traded me their 4th overall pick and a 2nd rounder in this year's draft for the 1st overall pick. So let's see how this draft goes and see where Paul Bissonnette goes. Oh my goodness, the Detroit Red Wings and the Ottawa Senators passed up on Paul Bissonnette, the franchise high 99 overall enforcer, and he's going to New Jersey. What a steal for the Devils. Holy crap. Obi's in free agency right now, so that could be a big get for anybody before this season starts if anyone wanted to grab him, or Taylor Hall, or like Gabriel Landeskog. There's a lot of good players. So Paul Bissonnette's first year, he'll be playing with Nico Hischier and Anthony Duclair on the Devils, followed by a follow, Jack Hughes and Grabner. Not a great team, but this has potential right here, or this in the future. Defensively, they got Ryan Murphy and PK Subban, so pretty much the same except for Steven Johnson, Alexiak on the back end, and in net they probably have Corey Crawford. Yeah, Crawford and Mrazek has a good goaltending duo. Okay. Nashville out here getting Ovechkin and Boone Jenner from Columbus for Askarov, first round pick, and Tomasino. My goodness, that's a trade. Arizona getting Johnny Taves, and Chicago getting a first round pick. New Jersey Devils are sitting 3rd in the Metropolitan right now, 63 games played, 71 points, 33 wins, and 25 losses with 5 overtime losses. Paul Bissonnette in his rookie years got 33 goals and 33 assists for 66 points in 63 games. He is killing it. Nashville out here reacquiring Kyle Turris. Let's see how that one goes for you. The Devils brought in Brandon Saad on their deadline, and they brought in former Devil Adam Larson, so we'll see how that works for them. New Jersey Devils finished 2nd in the Metropolitan, good enough for a playoff berth. Really, really close race between Pittsburgh, New Jersey, and the Rangers. Paul Bissonnette finishing with 86 points in his rookie year, 47 goals, 39 assists for 86 points, was a -9, but it's still pretty good. He had 26 fights too. What a bruiser. Obviously, the Devils are going to face the Rangers in the first round, so that should be a good matchup. Unfortunate for Paul Bissonnette and the New Jersey Devils as they lose in 7 to the New York Rangers in his first playoff appearance. Let's see how he did though. 5 points in 7 games. You think he'd do a lot better than that. So hopefully his next playoff performance is going to be something better. But we'll see what the Devils do the next season. Jack Hughes should be a bit better. Hischier should be a bit better. We'll see if they pick anybody up. So, Brent Seabrook retired from Chicago with the shackles of the horrible contract that he has. Tampa Bay Lightning won the Cup. Nikita Kucherov won the Art Ross and the Hearts. Kyle McCarr won the James Norris. Nikita Kucherov won the Lady Byng. Kirill Kaprizov stole the Calder from Paul Bissonnette. I'm going to have to go look at that. Colin Smythe with the Braden Points. Vezina with the Jacob Markstrom and the William Jennings. Frank J. Selke, Ryan O'Reilly. Nikita Kucherov with Ted Lindsay. And Nikita Kucherov with Maurice Richard. He must have had a hell of a year. Paul Bissonnette had 86 points and 46 goals. And Kirill Kaprizov had 85 points and 46 goals. So, toss-up, I guess. Seth Jones is the big dog on free agency. Ovechkin's back in free agency as well. A lot of big names, as you can see. And Corey Crawford has left the Devils, so hopefully they go out and get one of these big-name goalies. Oh my God. Bissonnette, Hughes, and Ovechkin on one line. Oh no to the rest of the league. That is not going to end well for you. Hughes is going to have a hell of a year. I can't imagine the points these guys are going to put up. Defensively, they look pretty much the same, which is a good defense. It's a really good defensive core. And then in nets, did they fix their goalie problem? Yes, they did. Oh my God, the Devils are going for it. Let's see how this turns out for them. Devils going mad hard at the trade deadline getting Ryan Ellis, getting rid of Jesper Wallstedt, which is a really, really good goalie, and Dawson Mercer, two really good prospects. So that's a big get. And they have work to do because they're only 5th in the Metropolitan. They need to get at least up to 3rd to guaranteed a spot. They're not too far back, two points to get to Philly and then another point to get to Washington. So it's doable, but they got to do it. They got to do it. Ovechkin's got 81 points in 62 games, 39 goals, 42 assists. Bissonnette's got 29 goals, 43 assists for 72 points in 62 games. He's a plus 17. Jack Hughes has 56 points, same amount of points as Nico Hischier, actually, which is kind of surprising. They have the same forward line as they did at the beginning of the season, but their defense has changed a bit. They got Herotheycallme and Ellis, a familiar duo, and they got Murray, Severson, Spurgeon, and Will Butcher. It's a good defensive core, like I said. Hopefully they get into it now with the addition of Ryan Ellis. Hopefully that helps the team out a bit. The New Jersey Devils do indeed squeeze into the playoffs with 95 points, almost getting up to 2nd place again. It looks like they're going to face the New York Rangers again in the first round, I mean. Ovechkin finishing with 98 points, 46 goals, 52 assists. Paul Bissonnette with 37 goals, 53 assists, 90 points. Hell of a year for Paul Bissonnette, going up quite a bunch from the previous season, I believe. He finished with 86, yeah, okay, so 4-point extra, and he was a plus 25 instead of a minus 6. And 11 fights, still throwing them fist around is Bissonnette. And sure enough, we are going to see the Rangers versus the Devils one more time. Let's see if the Devils have enough to beat the Rangers this time. And once again, the Devils fall in 7 games to the New York Rangers. I can't believe it. I thought for sure they were going to beat them this time. Paul Bissonnette this time 7 for 7, 1 goal, 6 assists. That's not good enough though for a 99 overall, let's be honest. He needs to do a lot better than that. Jack Hughes had a hell of a playoffs though. Ocho Cinco retired. The Edmonton Oilers won the Stanley Cup. Brad Marchand won the Art Ross and the Heart. The haters gonna hate. John Carlson won the James Norris. Mitch Martin won the Lady Byng. Calder went to Antoine Lundell. Conn Smythe to Draisaitl, Vezina to Bobrovsky, and the William Jennings to Bobrovsky. I'm sure Panthers fans would like to see that in real life. Frank J. Selke went to the Frank J. Selke Award winner of every year, Patrice Bergeron. Brad Marchand won the Ted Lindsay Award, and the Maurice Richard. Holy shit. Yeah, Brad Marchand finished with 108 points, 47 goals, 61 assists. That makes sense. Big time free agency. Nathan MacKinnon, 98 overall. Imagine somehow they pulled out Nathan MacKinnon. I don't want to think about it, but imagine Tarasenko, Monahan, Dadonov, Taves, a bunch of big names here. Nathan MacKinnon went to the Ducks. Still got that top line of Bissonnette, Hughes, and Ovechkin, but that second line's got Alexander Holtz on it now. Okay, here we go. Bottom pairing still looking pretty lackluster. Let's check out how the defense looks. Herotheycallme and Ellis still here. Butcher and Spurgeon, Murray and Larson, so that's still sitting nicely. And they got Kenzie Blackwood and Jonas Korpisalo, so pretty much the exact same team except for the addition of Alexander Holtz. The New Jersey Devils sit comfortably on top of the Metropolitan Division. 94 points, 63 games played, 44 wins, 13 losses, 6 overtime losses. Hell of a season so far. Alex Ovechkin's got 75 points and 61 games played, 37 goals, 38 assists. Paul Bissonnette with 26 goals, 35 assists, 61 points. And then Jack Hughes, 17 goals, 38 assists for 55 points. The New Jersey Devils are the best team in the league. 82 games played, 122 points, 57 wins, 17 losses, 8 overtime losses. Hell of a season for the New Jersey Devils. Ovechkin finished with 101 points, 49 goals, 52 assists. Paul Bissonnette, 32 goals, 49 assists, 81 points. A little bit less than he had last season, but still a pretty respectable season, almost a point per game. He had 23 fights this season. If he didn't fight so much, maybe you get more points, but he's an all-around, the GOAT. He hits, he bangs, he scores, he assists, takes penalties. Korpisalo and Blackwood both posted really ridiculous numbers too. And there's no Rangers in sight in the Eastern Conference. They got to beat the Penguins though in the first round. So let's see if the New Jersey Devils could finally get past the first round. And once again, the New Jersey Devils fall in the first round, this time to the Pittsburgh Penguins, only going to 6 games. My goodness, they couldn't even get to 7 this time. Bissonnette had 2 goals, 3 assists for 5 points. Alexander Holtz led the team in points. The rookie, that's unacceptable. Mitch Marner, Austin Matthews, and William Nylander's dad's retired. The Colorado Avalanche won the Stanley Cup without Nathan MacKinnon. Leon Draisaitl won the Art Ross and the Hearts. James Norris went to Ekblad. Lady Byng went to Crosby. Calder to Tim Stützle. Conn Smythe to Rantanen, Vezina to Jacob Markstrom again, Janoris Korpisalo and the William N. Jennings, I should say. Frank J. Selke went to Dylan Larkin, Leon Draisaitl to Ted Lindsay, and Nathan McKinnon won the Maurice Richard. Ovi is leaving the Devils. That's going to be interesting to see what they can replace him with. Mackenzie Blackwood also on free agency, so they got a lot of work to do. We'll see what the Devils can do in the offseason. Paul Bissonnette is playing with Hughes and Bratt now. Oof, that's a bit of a downgrade, but maybe Paul Bissonnette will pick up his game now. Defense looks pretty much the same, except now they have the addition of Ty Smith on the back end. And Joonas Korpisalo is still the number one goalie with Mikko Koskinen as his backup. That's not terrible. And of course, Paul Bissonnette signed a new deal, 7 years, $10 million, almost $11 million. That is insane. He's going to be here till he's at least 28 years old, or if he gets traded. New Jersey Devils still on top, though. 62 games played, 77 points, best in the Metropolitan. Paul Bissonnette's got 30 goals, 24 assists, 54 points in 62 games, a little bit under a game point per game right now. New Jersey Devils finished with 105 points in 82 games played. Hell of a season. Paul Bissonnette finishing with 74 points, 41 goals, 33 assists, probably one of his weakest, not probably, it definitely is his weakest turnout so far. As he's gone from 86, 90, 81, 74, not looking great, but 132 penalty minutes, 180 penalty minutes, 198 penalty minutes. That's one of the reasons why he's usually in the box instead of putting up points. So the fact that he's still putting up numbers while putting up these kind of PIMs and still putting up a nice plus minus is and it's, look at that shooting percentage though, that's pretty impressive. He's a monster. He'll intimidate you by scoring and he'll intimidate you by pounding your face in. He had 18 fights this season. Oh shit, here we go again. The New York Rangers facing off against the New Jersey Devils in the first round of the playoffs. Oh my goodness. Oh my god, they finally did it. It took 7 games, but the New Jersey Devils beat the Rangers and are going to the second round of the playoffs to face off against the Philadelphia Flyers. Paul Bissonnette's got 4-4 at 8 points in 7 games, but Jack Hughes leading the way in 7 games. He's got 13 points. The Devils make easy work of the Philadelphia Flyers, 4-0 sweep, going against the Toronto Maple Leafs now, who just beat the Tampa Bay Lightning in a 7-game series, so this might be a bit more of a test. Paul Bissonnette now over a point per game, 7 goals, 6 assists, 13 points in 11 games. Good for him, plus minus 5. Still Ellis and Jack Hughes having a hell of a playoff series right now, 11 games played, 19 points. And here we go, Paul Bissonnette's first ever Stanley Cup Finals appearance, facing off against the San Jose Sharks. The Sharks 4-0 win over the Minnesota Wild. Easy win there to get into the finals. 6-game win for the New Jersey Devils to get to the finals. So let's go ahead and see who's on the Sharks team. Of course, the New Jersey Devils have Bissonnette, Hughes, and Holtz, and we got Bratt, Hischier, and Niskanen. Okay, they picked up Valeri Niskanen, Bodquist, Borgstrom, and Zemgus Girgensons, then Ellie, Brian Little, and Nolan Foote. And down low, they have Butcher, Ellis, Larson, Murray, Lindell, and PK Subban, who I guess they got back on their team somehow, and Korpisalo and Nets. So let's go ahead and take a look at the San Jose Sharks. San Jose Sharks have James Armstrong, Jonathan Taves, Timo Meyer, Granlund, Couture, Galchenyuk, Killorn, Zaka, Perron, Silverberg, Chavlevsky, and Kotkov. That's a weird team to get to the finals. Defense, they got Merkley and Carlson, Burns and Hughes, Cheknikov and Sundqvist. Very puck-moving style defense, that's for sure. So then goalies, they got Mackenzie Blackwood. Of course they do. Well, game 1 goes to the Devils. Game 2 goes to the San Jose Sharks. Game 3 goes to the Devils. Game 4 goes to the Devils. One more win away from Paul Bissonnette to become Stanley Cup champion. The Sharks not going away just yet, though. Still battling. The New Jersey Devils are your Stanley Cup champions. Paul Bissonnette is a one-time Cup champ. Matt Barzal won the Art Ross. Nathan McKinnon went to Hart Memorial. James Norris went to Roman Josi. Lady Bing went to Matt Barzal. Collier went to Sam Poulin. Conn Smythe to Jack Hughes. No surprises there. Vezina to Joonas Korpisalo and the William Jennings as well. Frank J. Selke went to Dylan Larkin. Ted Lindsay to Barzal. And Cole Caulfield won the Maurice Richard Trophy. Alex Ovechkin retires. I bet you wish he stayed in New Jersey now, don't you, punk? Paul Bissonnette finished with 21 points in 23 games played in the playoffs, 13 goals, 8 assists. Hell of a season. They got rid of Ovechkin, and they became champions. Big defenseman in the free agency right now is Ivan Provorov, 92 overall Ivan Provorov, so we'll see if anyone goes out and grabs him. The New Jersey Devils beefed up a bit as they picked up John Tavares as a second-line center. It looks like Nico Hischier has dropped down to the third. They have a really good center core, that's for sure. Very, very strong right down the middle. Defensively, Will Butcher, Ryan Ellis still, Larson, Murray, Ekholm, and Burns. So they got Brett Burns. And in nets, I assume they still have Korpisalo. Yes, Korpisalo and Koskinen. So it looks like they improved on their Stanley Cup winning team. So we'll see if they can do it again. New Jersey Devils once again on top, 6-3 games played, 84 points. But they got the New York Rangers right behind them with 82 points, so they gotta keep it up. John Tavares is leading the team in points with 36 goals, 35 assists, 71 points in 63 games. Paul Bissonnette with 60 points in 63 games. He's got 29 goals, 31 assists, plus 13. Has 124 penalty. Oh my God, 124 penalty minutes. Jesus. Jersey finished with 108 points, 8 points better than the Rangers and the Hurricanes, so that's pretty much a dominant season for them in their division. Once again, I believe they're also the best team in the league, are they? Let's see. No, the Minnesota Wild are, but they clinched the conference, so they're best team in the Eastern Conference. The Minnesota Wild, that's kind of surprising. John Tavares finished top of the league, or top of the New Jersey Devils, I should say, 82 games played, 86 points, 45 goals, 41 assists. Paul Bissonnette, 82 games played, 37 goals, 40 assists, 77 points, 149 penalty minutes. I bet his team wishes he'd take less penalties and less fighting majors just to stay out of the ice. And he had 186 hits, probably led his team, I imagine, and had 22 fights, which definitely led his team. The New Jersey Devils get to face off against their other foe, the Pittsburgh Penguins, who beat them in the first round 2 years back, I believe it was. So, and it's really funny because if somehow they get through, they might face the Rangers again. So we'll see what happens. The Devils say, nah, this time, Penguins. They beat them 4 straight. Unfortunately, we don't get to face the Rangers in the second round. We get the Carolina Hurricanes, but probably the best. Paul Bissonnette had 5 points, 4 goals in 4 games. Pretty impressive stat line so far in the first round anyways. Jersey Devils make quick work of the Carolina Hurricanes, only losing 1 game this time, winning 4-1. They got the Boston Bruins, who also only lost 1 game against the Florida Panthers. So this might be an interesting one. I kind of want to see what's on the Boston Bruins, so we're going to go take a look at that as well. But first, let's see how Paul Bissonnette's doing. Paul Bissonnette with 9 points in 9 games, 8 goals, 1 assist, so he's definitely the trigger man so far in this playoffs. So in this Eastern Conference Finals, we got Bissonnette, Hughes, and Bratt as one line, Timoshaw, Tavares, and Holtz. Sordif, Hischier, and Borgstrom, Foote, Bodquist, and Armia. Their offense is really, really good. Murray, Ellis, Larson, Butcher, Elkholm, and Burns, pretty damn good defense as well. And of course, we already know the goalies, Korpisalo and Koskinen, so they have a really good team, New Jersey. Boston Bruins got Jaden Schwartz, Kerfoot, and Pasternak. This looks so different. Bjork, Cole, and Kristen Fisher. I follow Frederick and Bitten. Jamie Benn, he'd be a good Bruin. JT Comfer and Josh Hosang. Defensively, got Hayden Fleury, Charlie McAvoy, Carlo and Niku Gosberg, and Rassinen. And then in nets, they got UC Saros and Beckerin. Of course they do. Why wouldn't they? This time the Devils only lose 2 games, I should say, and they're going against another California team as they're facing off against the Ducks. Nathan MacKinnon, I know, was on that team. We already know he's on the Devils. I want to see who's on the Ducks besides Nathan MacKinnon, but this could be a 2-peat for the New Jersey Devils right now. Anaheim Ducks have Pierre Engvall, Nathan MacKinnon, Brendan Gallagher, Zucker, Zegras, and Riley Smith, Kopaka, Lundstrom, and Grigorenko, and Max Jones, Stevenson, and Rajivka. Defensively, Cam Fowler and Champion, Mahura and Letty, Anderson, and Drysdale. Then who is their goalie? John Gibson still. Pretty good team. It's going to be a battle of MacKinnon versus Bissonnette, so we'll see what happens. Ducks take the first game, tie it up at 2 now, or 1 I should say. 2-1 for the Ducks after game 3. 3-1 for the Ducks, not looking good for the New Jersey Devils right now. 3-2, Devils trying to mount a comeback. 3-3, we got ourselves a game 7. Oh my goodness, here we go. The New Jersey Devil, Paul Bissonnettes, are back-to-back Stanley Cup champions after an amazing comeback against the Anaheim Ducks. Coming back, I think they were down 3-1 to win the Cup in game 7. Connor McDavid won the Art Ross, Connor McDavid won the Hart Memorial, Quinn Hughes won the James Norris, Lady Bingo goes to Patty Kane, Calvin Memorial goes to Habert, Conn Smythe to Paul Bissonnette, yes, let's go! Vezina to Igor Shesterkin, William Evgenis to Igor Shesterkin, Frank Jaselki goes to Per Zogan, McDavid gets Ted Lindsay, and McDavid gets Maurice Richard. You gotta think that Nathan MacKinnon would have won the Conn Smythe, he would have won. 25 games played, 29 points, but he didn't win the Cup, and they gave it to Paul Bissonnette with 22 games played, 23 points. Pretty good playoff run for him, 15 goals, 8 assists, 24 penalty minutes. I wanted to see if he got any fights during the playoffs. I'm kind of curious. It's 65 hits, that's crazy, and 2 fights, yep. He was a beast out there, he deserves it. Oh, that just looks wrong. Patrice Bergeron retires on the Philadelphia Flyers, and Brad Marchand retires on the Detroit Red Wings, no please. And David Krejci retires on Toronto. Oh my god, as a Bruins fan, that hurts my soul. But Sidney Crosby also retiring. A lot of big names retiring this year. More big names in free agency. Jack Eichel, age of 28, 96 overall in free agency, so he's definitely the biggest fish out here. The New Jersey Devils continue to look pretty good on paper. Bissonnette, Hughes, and Brad as their top line still. We got Sordiff, Tavares, and Holtz, and they have Hischier playing the left wing now with Bergstrom and Etchari. That's a really weird third line. I don't know why they just want to throw Hischier up here, but whatever. Nolan Foote, Nolan Patrick, and Samuel Block as their fourth line. And then defensively, they got Ryan Murray, Ellis, Ty Smith, Butcher, Ekholm, and Siu. So not the strongest D, but it's still decent. And then in nets, they still got Korpisalo, and they got the legendary Anton Khudobin as well. So that's 39 years of age. So can they go for the three-peat? New Jersey Devils once again top of their division. Of course, they got the Carolina Hurricanes right behind them, though, just 1 point back, same amount of games played. Paul Bissonnette leading his team, leading the charge, if you will. 63 games played, 33 goals, 46 assists, 79 points, plus 22, 142 penalty minutes, 18% on the shooting percentage. That's insane. Him, Hughes, and Holtz all having a good year. Looks like Frank Vetrano took over the center spot. Maybe Patrick is injured, or maybe they just traded him away. I don't know. Butcher, Ellis, Fox. Oh, they got Fox on the back end now, so it seems like maybe they use Patrick as a trade piece. Let's go see. New Jersey acquired Adam Fox in a 2027 fourth round pick from New York for a first round pick. Okay. New Jersey Devils finished with 121 points in 82 games played. Best in the league again by a wide margin. Carolina behind them, but still not even close. New Jersey is killing it. Paul Bissonnette is killing it. Biz Nasty finishing with 97 points, 42 goals, 55 assists for plus 27, 191 penalty minutes, 238 shots. That's pretty good shooting percentage at 17% again, and 27 fights. What a beast. And the Devils have the Toronto Maple Leafs in the first round with a possible second round matchup of Carolina or Pittsburgh. The Devils make easy work of the Toronto Maple Leafs in the first round, winning 4-1. And of course, now they're going against the second best team in the league, the Carolina Hurricanes, in the second round. So we'll see how that goes for them. John Tavares had 10 points in 5 games. That's freaking impressive. Bissonnette with 5 and 5. So the Carolina Hurricanes have Teravainen, Nikas, and Svechnikov as their top line. It's a really good top line. Pretty good team down the line, honestly. And then defensively, their defense is really good. What's their goaltending look like? Goaltending's their weak point. Okay. And no, there will be no three-peat as the Carolina Hurricanes knock us out in the second round in Game 7. That sucks. I was hoping to get 3 titles in a row. That would have been sick, but it looks like Carolina's going to face Montreal, and Anaheim's going to face Winnipeg, and the winner of that is going to win the Cup. Paul Bissonnette finished under a point per game this time around. 12 games played, 9 points. John Tavares had a really good playoff series, but so did Nico Hischier and Alexander Holtz. Unfortunately, we couldn't get it done. Justin Tokarski retired. Carolina Hurricanes won the Stanley Cup, so of course the team that beats us goes on to win the Stanley Cup. Leon Draisaitl and Art Ross and a Hart Memorial. James Norris goes to Ryan Ellis, that's nice. Lady Bing to Elias Pettersson. Calder goes to Elias Sell. Conn Smythe to Gumler. Vezina to Allenfelt, the guy that I said isn't a good goalie. He wins the Vezina, of course, and William M. Jennings. Frank J. Selke to Ryan O'Reilly. Leon Draisaitl to Ted Lindsay. Maurice Richard to Kirill Kaprizov. The defenseman dream out here right now. We got Heiskanen, Quinn Hughes, and Eric Brandstrom all out on the free agent market, and of course here's Jesper Bratt. So maybe they are going to try to find someone to replace Jesper Bratt because it looks like he's going to be making his money somewhere else because he wants $10 million. All right, a couple new faces here in New Jersey. We have Sordiff, or he's not new, but he's on the team and he's gotten better, I should say. We have Anthony Duclair, who's back on the team. Julian Gauthier is here. Nick Ritchie. It seems like they might have got rid of Hischier. I didn't see him in the free agency class, but he might have been there. Ellis and Carlson. All right, here we go. They really amped up their defense, though. Carlson at the age of 36, looking for his first cup. Decides to go to New Jersey. Probably a good decision. And goalies got Korpisalo and Blomqvist, so a little bit weaker on the goalie end, but not too bad. New Jersey Devils once again atop of their division. 63 games played, 86 points, 40 wins, 17 losses, 6 overtime losses. A really good team. Paul Bissonnette apparently is a really good leader, I guess. Paul Bissonnette, 63 games played, 34 goals, 23 assists, 57 points for a plus 14. Alright, we're at that part of the video where I ask, is anyone still watching? If you are, you're probably enjoying it, so make sure you leave a like and subscribe for more NHL 21 content. The Devils finished with 114 points in 82 games played. Best team in the league again. Oh my goodness, that's 2 years back-to-back with the President's Trophy now. Justin Sordiff actually is leading the team in points at 30 goals, 48 assists, and 78 points. That's surprising. Paul Bissonnette, pretty down year. 39 goals, 32 assists, 71 points. Not the greatest. Probably one of his weaker years. Yep. Definitely. Definitely his lowest scoring year thus far. New Jersey Devils in the first round facing off against the Tampa Bay Lightning with another chance to face off against Carolina Hurricanes in the second round, who were the Stanley Cup champions of last year. And just like that, we will be getting a rematch of last year as the New Jersey Devils will face off against the Carolina Hurricanes in the second round of the Eastern Conference Finals. Paul Bissonnette, only 4 points, well, I shouldn't say only 4.6 games, that's still pretty good, but you want him to be, one of the top guys. I think the New Jersey Devils have finally found their kryptonite, and it is the Carolina Hurricanes. It used to be the New York Rangers, but it seems like to be the Hurricanes the past 2 years, as the Hurricanes once again beat them in the second round, this time even easier than last time. Last time was a 7-game series, this time was 4-1, 5 games it only took. Let's see if the Hurricanes could two-peat. Paul Bissonnette finished with 9 points in 11 games. Erik Karlsson decides, I'm out of here. If we're not winning the Cup this year, I'm retiring, and gets the hell out of New Jersey. The Edmonton Oilers are the Stanley Cup champions. No two-peat for Carolina. Anthony Mantha won the Art Ross, okay. Hart Memorial goes to Cole Caulfield. Erik Karlsson wins the James Norris and retires. What a guy. Lady Byng goes to William Nylander. Calder goes to Prosser. Conn Smythe to McDavid. Vezina to Korpisalo. Good for Korpisalo, finally getting the recognition he deserves. Frank J. Selke to Lundell. Ted Lindsay to Caulfield. And Matt Boldy wins the Maurice Richard. Looks like a pretty big depth piece of the New Jersey Devils is leaving as Henrik Bjorkstrom has entered free agency. Also, Thomas Chabot's in here, which is pretty good. So after leading the team in points, the New Jersey Devils decided to put Sordiff on the third line and bring in Jonathan Drouin to replace him on the second line. Interesting move. They also got Mason Shaw as the second line centerman now. They really changed the team around a lot. You can see Paul Bissonnette, Jack Hughes, and Alexander Holtz are going to remain their top line, though. Defensively, got Jacob Bernard Docker, Mahura, Ryan Murray, Fox, Sean Jersey, and Nicholas Badone. But not the best defense they've had in the past couple of years. And okay, Korpisalo's still there. I thought he was gone for a second. So better goaltending duo at least. New looking roster doesn't seem to be slowing down the Devils at all. 64 games played, 90 points, dude. This team just doesn't stop. Paul Bissonnette having another, I won't want to say a bad year. He's got 56 points in 64 games, but another less than stellar year for a 99 overall 25-year-old. Alexander Holtz, though, is sort of having great years. So is Jonathan Taves. John Tavares, Jesus. New Jersey Devils finished 106 points in 82 games. Best spot in the Metropolitan once again. Not good enough for the league lead this time around, though. That goes to the Chicago Blackhawks. Paul Bissonnette finishing with 69 points. Nice. Of course he would. Only a +9 this year. He's fallen off a bit, as you can see if you look at his point totals right now. He's only 26 years of age, but the last 2 seasons has been his worst point totals, so I'm not sure what's going on with Paul Bissonnette. No Carolina in sight, but the New Jersey Devils get their old rivalry back in the New York Rangers in the first round, so we'll see how that goes for them. Devils making quick work of the Rangers, winning 4-2. They got the Capitals in the next round. Paul Bissonnette leading his team in the playoffs. That's what I want to see. 8 points in 6 games. Let's see if he can keep that up. New Jersey Devils moving on to the Eastern Conference Finals, face off against the Detroit Red Wings, who beat down the New York Islanders 4-1. New Jersey back in a familiar area. Let's see if they can finish off the Detroit Red Wings, but let's see what's on the Detroit Red Wings first. Paul Bissonnette having a hell of a playoff series so far. 12 games played, he's got 16 points, 9 goals, 7 assists. Guess you heard my shit-talking him. I realized I didn't check this team if they made any changes at their deadline. It looks like John Tavares has fallen down to the 4th line now. They got Shaw, Sordiff, and Drouin as their second line. Did they pick anybody up? It doesn't really look like it. It looks like they're running the exact same team as the beginning of the season, and yeah, sure enough, they are. Detroit's got John Gibson in nets. It's a pretty good goalie to have. Larkin, Raymonds, yeah. Danton Hines, their second line center. That's an interesting one. Their defense is okay. And the Devils are back in the finals again facing off against the San Jose Sharks, who they beat previously a couple years back in the finals. Paul Bissonnette leading his team in points still, 23 in 18 games. Hughes is right behind him, and so is Holt. So that top line is really killing it for the New Jersey Devils right now, willing their way to the finals. San Jose Sharks are very well balanced, that's for sure. No, not a real superstar on the team anymore, but definitely balanced. Defensively, they got Ryan Merkley. He's probably the best defenseman. They also have Ty Smith, former New Jersey Devil, so we'll see how that goes for them. And Mackenzie Blackwood still as their goalie. All right, so let's see how things go for the New Jersey Devils. Can they get another cup under the belt? So far, they're down 1-0 to the San Jose Sharks, tying it back up at 1s apiece. 2-1 for the Sharks. They're going to look to take a stranglehold here on the series if they can get the win. Nope, we're tied 2-2. New Jersey refuses to die. 3-2. This is not where you want to be. Sharks against the Devils. It's a very, very highly skilled team. And the New Jersey Devils are once again the Stanley Cup champions as they beat the San Jose Sharks in 6 games. Jack Eichel won the Art Ross and the Hearts. James Norris with the Cal McCarr. Jonathan Marsh with the Lady Bing. Calder with the Vigor. Jack Hughes took the Conn Smythe away from Paul Bissonnette at the end. I'm going to see what the score was there. Vezina goes to Demko. Frank Jaselki to Lundell again. Eichel, Tim Lizzie, and Maurice Richard goes to Cole Caulfield. Yep, Jack Hughes finishing with 30 points, 8 goals, 22 assists for 30 points, taken away from Paul Bissonnette at the end. I think Paul Bissonnette should have won it. He's got 13 goals and 15 assists, but whatever. It is what it is. He made, so the real trophy is the Stanley Cup. So John Tavares decides to call it a career after winning the Stanley Cup for the New Jersey Devils. Good for him, smart man. Kristers Godlewskis retires. Braden Point has hit the free agent market. The Stanley Cup champion New Jersey Devils beefed up that second line, bringing Sean Monahan into place right wing with Shaw and Sordiff. That's a pretty good top two line combo here. Pretty scary. Let's see how their defense looks. Fox and Bernard Docker, Grigorenko and Bodin, Mahura and Rassinen. So they changed up their defense quite a bit. Hopefully Fox and Bernard Docker could be a good duo for them. And Korpisalo still nuts. He seems to be dropping slowly, but not too bad. Their backup goalie is terrible. They need to fix that. Alright, it's time for the question of the video. Who do you think would win in a fight, Paul Bissonnette or a Bear? Comment down below. Oh no, the New Jersey Devils, 62 games played, 62 points. They've fallen from grace. Not even close to a playoff spot. Looks like they're not going to make it this year. Paul Bissonnette leading the team with 60 points and 62 games played, but doesn't look like he's getting much help. Well, I shouldn't say getting much help. The top line is killing it, but I guess like the bottom lines aren't really producing, or maybe the goaltending is just absolutely ass. Let's see how bad the goalies have been. Yeah, not great. The New Jersey Devils failed to make the playoffs, finishing with 83 points in 82 games. Not a very good season for the Devils at all. Paul Bissonnette finished with 75 points in 82 games, leading his team. But it seems like maybe John Tavares was the glue that held that team together since he retired. They haven't been as good. Well, it's been one season, but you know what I mean. Paul Bissonnette, he's 99 overall still. He's 27. He's going to be going into his last year with the Devils next season. So who knows what's going to happen. New Jersey jumps from 10 to 3, so they're going to get a good prospect at least in this draft. The prettiest man alive retires. Montreal Canadiens won the Stanley Cup. Yuck. Patrick Laine won the Art Ross. Hart Memorial goes to Patrick Laine. Quinn Hughes, the James Norris lead, being the Nikolai Ehlers. Calder goes to Kasparaitis. Conn Smythe to Cole Caulfield. Vezina to Herotheycallme. Demko wins William Jennings. Frank Jaselki to Braden Point. Ted Lindsay to Patrick Laine. And Patrick Laine with Maurice Richard. We know this is the last season in his current contract for Paul Bissonnette. So will the New Jersey Devils try to entice him to come back? Alexander Holt is in free agency right now, so we'll have to see what they're going to do. Looks like the New Jersey Devils decided not to sign Holt, so their top line now is Paul Bissonnette, Jack Hughes, and Sean Monahan. Still a good top line. Second line's pretty good too, not bad. It kind of falls off when it gets closer to the fourth line, but still not a bad offense. It looks like they brought in a pretty good defenseman, Kari Pakarainen, Fox, Bernard Docker, Bodin, so they definitely boosted the defense. How's the goalie looking? Korpisalo is falling off a cliff, and their backup's no good either, so it might be another long season for the Devils, or who knows, we'll see. The trade deadline is upon us, and the New Jersey Devils are back into a familiar spot as the top seed in the Metropolitan Division. It's a very, very close race, though. It could be anyone's game, so kind of interested in seeing what the Devils did in the trade deadline, if they did anything at all, that is. Paul Bissonnette, it seems like when Paul Bissonnette is like third, fourth, not the primary scorer, the team does a lot better. Right now he's got 36 goals and 19 assists for 55 points. Once again, this is his last season on the, well, maybe, unless he signs a new contract, but we'll see what he does. He's 27, he'll be 28 by the end of the year. It's going to be interesting offseason for Paul Bissonnette, but right now they're in a playoff spot. The New Jersey Devils just squeaking in. As you can see, they finished 5th in the Metropolitan, but it looks like they were going to have to get that last wild card spot. Let's take a look to see how close it was. The Rangers had more points than them, apparently. Or no, less points, sorry, 98. They finished 5th in the Eastern Conference with 100 points, so I guess they had a bit of a gap. Look how weak the Atlantic Division was. That Montreal and Tampa were able to squeeze in, and Toronto. Oof, that hurts. That's why this the way they do the playoffs now is freaking stupid. Jack Hughes finished with 91 points. Hell yeah. Paul Bissonnette third, 46 goals, 29 points, 29 assists, 75 points. He really picked up his game at the end there. 188 penalty minutes, 244 shots. Let's see how many fights he had to end the season with. 28. Crazy. Can't wait to see how many fights he had in his dark career at the end of this. So the Devils are going to face off against the Penguins in the first round. Should be a good matchup. I think the last time they faced the Penguins, they lost, if I recall correctly. And the same thing happened this time as the Penguins went 4-2 against the Devils. So this might be the end of Paul Bissonnette's journey with the New Jersey Devils. We'll see if he decides to take his talents into the free agent market. And he finished with 3 points in 6 games. Not a great showing. It was a -3 too. This very well could be the last time we see Paul Bissonnette rocking the Devil. Everybody's favorite player retired. The owner of the Boston Bruins retired. Winnipeg Jets won the Stanley Cup. Jack Eichel won the Art Ross. Connor McDavid won the Hart. James Norris won the Eric Brandstrom. Lady Byng to Brandon Points. Calder to Sharma. Conn Smythe to Kyle Connor. Carter Hart with the Vezina. It's about that time he showed up. Frank Jaselki to Lundell again. My goodness. Jack Eichel to Ted Lindsay to Jack Eichel, I should say. And Maurice Richard to Jack Eichel as well on Pittsburgh. Paul Bissonnette decides to sign another deal with the New Jersey Devils. An 8-year contract extension to keep him with New Jersey. $11 million, almost $12 million. I think that's over $1 million more than he was making last time, if I recall correctly. I can't quite remember. It was like 10 something, wasn't it? That's a huge deal. They lock up their guy, their franchise 99 overall winger. We'll see if Paul Bissonnette can bring them another cup. You know, he is a 3-time cup champion already. We'll see what's in store for Paul Bissonnette and the New Jersey Devils going forward. We got big boy Leon Draisaitl at 34 years of age, top guy in the free agency pool right now. Mantha DeBrincat right underneath him. Looks like Sortif is also leaving New Jersey. That's not good for them. They need to replace him big time. Also, Jonas Korpisalo no longer on the Devils, so let's see if they decide to sign one of these big-name goalies. The top line remains the same for the New Jersey Devils. They got Bissonnette, Hughes, and Monahan. The second line kind of the same, except they got Arturi Lehkonen playing second line right wing. This is a weird-looking team so far. Josh Anderson Dolan as their third line. They got Nolan Patrick back, I guess. Maybe he was in the farm team. I have no idea. Defensively, they got Pakarainen, who's still good. Fox, Bodine, Balls. It looks like they changed their defense around slightly. Assuming this guy is the guy they drafted a couple years back. Let's see. Yeah, the first round, 3rd overall pick. So that's going to be a good defenseman for them in the future. He's already 82 overall. And did they fix their goalie issues? Yep, they did sign the best goalie available in Grebishkov. So this could be another good year for the Devils. At the trade deadline, the New Jersey Devils are currently sitting with 67 points in 63 games played, a couple points behind getting a guaranteed playoff spot. I'm not sure if they did anything at the deadline, but I'll check. Paul Bissonnette's leading the team in points, 38 goals, 21 assists for 59 points in 63 games. Jack Hughes at a point per game pace right now. Pretty good season for him. But usually, like I said, when Paul Bissonnette leads the team in points, they don't usually do well. The New Jersey Devils did go out and do something. They picked up Martin Necas. That's a pretty big get as a centerman right here, 32 overall, 32 age, I should say, and 86 overall. That gives them a really good second-line centerman, and it looks like they moved Shaw up to the right wing instead and moved Monahan down the left wing. We'll see if that helps the team out a bit. New Jersey Devils finished 3rd in the Metropolitan, just 1 point ahead of Columbus Blue Jackets. It's good for them. Gives them a guaranteed playoff spot, obviously, like I said. And it looks like they're going to be playing the Pittsburgh Penguins again this time. Jack Hughes actually finishing with more points than Paul Bissonnette. Paul Bissonnette, puts up almost a point per game every season, almost anyways. So I'm not going to say it's a bad career, but you think a guy that's a 99 overall put up a lot more than 78 points every season, but not a bad season. Another playoff berth, that's all they need. And like I said, they're going to be playing against the Pittsburgh Penguins in the first round again, so let's see if they get some revenge this time. And this time they do win. Thank God. They beat the Penguins in 6 games, going on to face the Detroit Red Wings in the semifinals of the Eastern Conference. Where is the big man? Where is he at? Hello? Jack Hughes had 1 point? What is going on? Where is he? Paul Bissonnette, 0 points in 6 games. What is happening? They won, but what is happening? The Red Wings win in 7 games to move on to the Eastern Conference Finals. I gotta see if Paul Bissonnette and the boys actually picked it up or not. Alright, Paul Bissonnette in those 7 games put up 7 points. So that's not too bad, but that's ridiculous. Where is Jack Hughes at, man? What did he do? 2 points in 30. Oh my God, that is awful. Is this a contract here for you, Hughes? Oh no, that's terrible. Peter Forsberg's illegitimate son retired. The Columbus Blue Jackets won the Stanley Cup. Jack Eichel with the Art Ross again. Hart Memorial goes to Quentin Byfield. James Norris to Ekblad. Heischer wins the Lady Byng. Conn Smythe goes to Atu Ratti. Carter Hart with the Vezina again. William Jennings says Corpusalo, of course he does. He leaves the team and plays better. Frank J. Selke goes to Parajogan. Ted Lindsay to Byfield. Maurice Richard to Cole Caulfield again. Oh no, Jack Hughes is finally hitting free agency. That is not a good sign for the New Jersey Devils or for Paul Bissonnette. So we'll see if Hughes somehow comes back. It's happened before. We've seen people go in the free agency and come back, but I don't know. It's not looking good for the Devils right now. And sure enough, he has left the team. Jack Hughes no longer, but Capo Caco over here and some guy named Francis David. Who are these guys? Besides that, the bottom line's not looking great, but you never know. 79s can be really good in this game for some reason. We got Bissonnette, Shaw, and Capo Caco as the top line. Could be really good. We'll see. I don't know. Defensively, we got I can never say this guy's name. Kari Pakarinen, Fox Johansson, Vales, Bodine, and Gabriel Petri. It seems like they're going a bit younger, maybe? Yeah, at least two players are super young on their defensive core, and I'm assuming they still have the same goalie and nets from last season. No, they lost him, so they got Matt Sogard now. Oof. I don't know about these Devils. We'll see, though. The New Jersey Devils are sitting at 66 points in 63 games. Not a good season, as I assumed was going to happen. Possible to make the playoffs? Still possible. They'd have to go on a killer run, so I don't think it's going to happen. Paul Bissonnette does lead the team in points, so 63 games played. He's got 61 points. He's averaging, he pretty much averages like the same amount of goals and assists every season. It's pretty impressive. David is the next closest guy to him with 23 goals, 27 assists for 50 points. This could be the rebuild for the New Jersey Devils. It was interesting to see Paul Bissonnette re-sign here for the 8 years that he did. I wasn't expecting that. I thought he would test free agency, but he is 29 years of age now. His contract will end when he's at 36, I believe. So we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, the New Jersey Devils, not enough to get into the playoffs. Pretty big gap there, over 10 points. So looks like they're going to be sitting on the outside this year, but a couple times they've missed the playoffs. Next year they finish first, so we'll see what they do in the next season. New Jersey Devils legend Jonas Corpusalo retired. San Jose Sharks won the Cup. Johnson won the Art Ross and the Hearts. Shabbat won the James Norris. Lady Bing by Ellers. Conn Smythe to Besser. Askarov won the Vezina and the William Jennings. Frank Jaselki went to Lindell again. Ted Lindsay to Johnson and Maurice Richard to Johnson. A lot of made-up players now on the free agents list, but we got Sergachev, Brad Lambert, who's going to be really good. I think he's in the draft this year coming. Yeesh, doesn't look like the Devils are going to get any better. They're slightly better, like down here, but their secondary line's gotten worse. David has moved over to the left wing now, but their top line's still the same. I didn't even bother to check what like Paul Bissonnette finished the season with last season, so let me do that real quick so you guys know, because I completely forgot to do that. He had 70 points in 82 games, and how many fights did he have this year? It doesn't say. Okay, that's stupid. Defensively, pretty much the same. Bale's got a hell of a lot better, Xavier Bale, so I guess that's good. I think he was like 83 or something, if I recall correctly. And their goaltending is still awful. Well, remember last time I said awful, and this guy won the Vezina on another team, so maybe. And sure enough, the New Jersey Devils have taken the top spot. Every year they do bad, they take that top spot. Of course, they haven't won it yet, and it's a very, very, very close race between 1 and 6, pretty much. 5-point differential. So they could easily fall out, but right now they're sitting top of the Metropolitan. And sure enough, Paul Bissonnette is not leading the team in points. Every time, I'm telling you. Every time he doesn't lead the team in points, he's like third. They do well. 37 goals, 21 assists, 58 points for 61 games played. He's a minus, or a 0, I should say, which isn't very good. But at 30 years old, he's still, one of the better players in the league. And you can see the New Jersey Devils almost fell out, all the way down to 4th in the Metropolitan. That was a little close. They stayed in 98 points, like they had a 4-point lead over Columbus, so they're fine, but it was close. Paul Bissonnette finished 3rd on the team, 76 games played, not a full season, and 74 points, almost a point per game though. This guy's got to be one of the most consistent players in the NHL of all time, that's for sure. And the Devils got a new matchup in the first round for the first time ever. They're facing the Philadelphia Flyers, I'm pretty sure. And the Devils are moving on to the second round to face one of their biggest foes, the New York Rangers, in the Eastern Conference semifinals after they beat the Philadelphia Flyers in 7 games. Paul Bissonnette moving on. Paul Bissonnette leading his team in points as he does in the playoffs. 7 games played, 8 points, 4 goals, 4 assists, right down the middle as always. And the Rangers have beaten the Devils again. What is this, 4 or 5 times now they've beaten New Jersey? It's crazy. Paul Bissonnette finished with 12 points in 13 games played, head and shoulders above the rest of his competition. He had 8 goals and 4 assists, tried his best but couldn't get it done. Donald Trump's #1 fan retired. The New York Rangers went on to win the Stanley Cup. Yuck. Connor McDavid won the Art Ross. Hart Memorial goes to Kirill Kaprizov. James Norris goes to Miro Heiskanen. Lady Bing to Jack Eichel. Alex Lafreniere wins the Conn Smythe. Tanev with the Vezina. Jack Adams with Nicholas Backstrom. That's funny. Frank J. Selke by Heischer. Kirill Kaprizov, Ted Lindsay, and Maurice Richard goes to Connor McDavid. And it looks like the New Jersey Devils are going to have another big loss as their top defenseman is in free agency right now. Oh no. What is going on here, man? Bissonnette, Nick Hass, and Kakko now. Things getting a bit out of hand. Like it's not terrible. The offense has always been okay, but like you need that second line to be better than an 80 and 81. 91's great, but defense. Xavier Bales takes over for Pekka Ryan. Lundberg, Graham, Burkhold, not great. Did they fix their goalie issues? Yeah, they did. It's 86 and 84, so who knows? We'll see what happens. Big oof. New Jersey Devils are sitting dead last in the Metropolitan right now. Of course, they're tied with the Hurricanes technically, but yeah, and it's still close up to fifth, but that's a 6-point gap to fourth, and then an 8-point gap to third for a guaranteed playoff spot. I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen. Also, shout out to Spencer Vandenbush. What a name. Paul Bissonnette's leading the team in points. What the hell? Every time, I'm telling you, 63 games played. He's got 33 goals, 26 assists, 59 points. He's a +8. And every time he leads the team, they falter. Well, the New Jersey Devils fought hard, but not enough. 86 points. They just missed out on the playoffs. Gave themselves a worse spot in the draft, though, doing so not going to get any immediate help unless they win. We have seen people win at like 15 to jump to 1 for some stupid reason, so... Paul Bissonnette finished top of the team, 77 points, 40 goals, 37 assists for +14. He had 16 fights. This boy just throwing fists out here at the age of 32 now. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle retired. Philadelphia Flyers won the Stanley Cup. Cook won the Art Ross. Petrov won the Hart Memorial. Vlasic won the James Norris. Petrov won the Lady Bing. Calder with the Tatar. Cousins, I should say, won the Conn Smythe. Vezina with the Carter Hart. William Jennings with the Carter Hart. Frank J. Selke with the Kotkaniemi, Petrov, and Lysell. So, like, 2 of those people were actual players. This is the time for the New Jersey Devils to go and land a big fish. Harkins, a franchise 25-year-old, is a UFA right now. This could be a big-time acquisition if they were able to get him. Doesn't look like they went out and made that splash, unfortunately. Still, the second line looks like it got a bit better with Isaac Kidd over here, but besides that, it seems to be going downhill for Paul Bissonnette's New Jersey Devils. Defense is getting worse as well. Bissonnette's still 99 overall, 32 years of age, though. How's their goaltending looking? Super weak. Whew. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. The New Jersey Devils sitting in 6th place right now with 64 points. Somehow the Blue Jackets and Capitals are way worse than they are, but not looking likely that they'll sneak in. 6 points back of Carolina right now, and New York Rangers, and 9 points back of the New York Islanders. How much are we betting that Paul Bissonnette is leading the team in points? Yeah, sure enough, 58 points for Paul Bissonnette. 29 goals, 29 assists. The top line seems to be doing their... Well, I guess not really top line. David's not part of it, but Kidd seems to be doing his job as well. Kakko a little bit less. Martin DeCass not really holding up either, so... But Paul Bissonnette going to be 33 at the end of the year, and still has, 4 years left on his deal? I don't know about these Devils, Paul. Holy shit, the New Jersey Devils coming back. 90 points to finish the season, getting that 3rd spot to face off against the former Stanley Cup champs, Philadelphia Flyers, in the first round. Sure enough, Paul Bissonnette didn't lead the team in points. That's what happens whenever he doesn't lead. They get to the playoffs. Paul Bissonnette finished with 36 goals, 40 assists for 76 points in 82 games played. A hell of a season again. Boy is, constant 70-point scorer every year, pretty much. 25 fights, throwing them fists around at the age of 33 now. So we got the Devils versus the Flyers in the first round. Let's see what they can do. And the Devils knock off the defending Stanley Cup champ Philadelphia Flyers in 7 games to go on to face the Detroit Red Wings in the Eastern Conference semifinals. We'll see if they can get through. And unfortunately, the Detroit Red Wings are just way too much for the New Jersey Devils and Paul Bissonnette as they win in 5 games. Really good numbers for Kaapo Kakko, like insanely good. 12 games played, 16 points. Same with Paul Bissonnette with 12 games and 14 points. But I guess they were just too top line heavy, and their secondary scoring didn't get it done for them because you could tell the big fall off right there. There goes our top centerman after that playoff run. Decides to call it a career. Martin DeCass retiring at the age of 36. The New Jersey Devils got to find someone in free agency now, that's for sure. The Boston Bruins are the Stanley Cup champions. Cyphers won the Art Ross. That's a former Devil, I believe. Hart Memorial goes to Pandolfo. Evan Bouchard wins to James Norris. Lady Bing to Cole Caulfield. Conn Smythe to Hedberg. Mackenzie Blackwood won the Vezina. Good for him. Jack Adams to Sean Couturier now. Frank J. Selke to Cole Perfetti. Ted Lindsay to Pandolfo. And Cole Caulfield with another Maurice Richard to his name. I see a center right wing right here, Alexander Alexiev. He gets traded a lot, honestly, but he's an 88 overall. That could be the guy they need. Oof! This team does not look great. That's their center depth. That is not good. They still got some decent wingers. Kapokaka's fallen off a lot, but, you know, Kidd and David are decent wingers. Paul Bissonnette is finally starting to regress at the age of 33. He's 96 overall now. You take a look at his stats just so you can see what is regressing the most here. It looks like his body checking's gone down, his aggressiveness has gone down, his discipline was already an 85 to begin with. His puck control's gone down a bit, you know, still a really, really good player. Nothing to be too worried about, but I'm assuming he'll regress a bit more next season as well. Defensively, not the best either. And how's their goaltending situation looking? Pretty good. All right. I really don't get the sim in this game. It doesn't make any sense to me how a team like the New Jersey Devils could have 68 points with that kind of goaltending and that kind of team when like teams with like stacked teams don't even make the playoffs sometimes. I don't get it. But I guess it makes sense because Paul Bissonnette has been third on his team in points again. Every time, man, I tell you. He's only got 54 points this year. He's got 23 goals, 31 assists so far throughout the year. So we'll see if they make the playoffs. And the New Jersey Devils just squeak into the playoffs. 87 points. Philadelphia right behind them with 86. But they managed to hold on and get into that last playoff spot. Paul Bissonnette finished third on his team with 67 points in 82 games played. Probably, I think that might be the lowest he's ever produced. 67 points, if I recall correctly. And it is, yes. 69 was the lowest previously. So maybe he has fallen off pretty heavily as he hits 96 overall now. The New Jersey Devils are going to face off against the Carolina Hurricanes in the first round. And they're going to lose in 7 games to those Carolina Hurricanes. Unfortunate for the Devils. Paul Bissonnette finished 5 points in 7 games. Is this his last year in his contract? No, he's got 2 years after this. Okay. All the future stars of today are retiring all at once. That's great. Edmonton Oilers won the Stanley Cup. Makinen won the Art Ross. Hart Memorial goes to Perezhogan. Esch wins the James Norris. Stützle wins the Lady Bing. Conn Smythe goes to Lavin. Wallstedt gets the Vezina and William Jennings. About the time he showed up. Frank J. Selke goes to Ebbett. Perezhogan wins Ted Lindsay. Maurice Richard goes to Pandolfo. So everyone except for Wallstedt was a made-up player. I think this is probably going to be the last year that I check the free agency pool just because there's 2 players here that you might recognize, and that's Cody Glass and Nico Hischier, who are both 37 years of age. And the rest are just made-up players. So, yeah, the only time I'll check it next is if Paul Bissonnette hits free agency. I guess since Kapokaka had a hell of a year last season, he went up to an 85. He was an 82 last season. Paul Bissonnette dropped another 2 points to 94. Here are his stats as he's got 2 more years left on his deal. Doesn't look like they made too much of an adjustment. It feels like they got weaker down the middle, actually. They got way weaker down the middle. Defensively, looks like they may have gotten a slight bit of a boost, and that's about it. What about their goalie situation? It's still pretty bad. But who knows? As long as Paul Bissonnette finishes third in scoring, they're going to make the playoffs. The New Jersey Devils are sitting third in the Metropolitan right now. They got the Washington Capitals right behind them, though. Paul Bissonnette sitting second right now. Kapokaka having a hell of a year again. 63 points, 63 games, 65 points. There you go. Paul Bissonnette with 59. He only has 17 goals, but Mr. Assister this season, that is for sure. The Devils do indeed make the playoffs. It looks like they're going to get the Philadelphia Flyers again in the first round. Paul Bissonnette definitely picked up his play. 25 goals, 55 assists for 80 points. Almost taking that top spot, but just not, which made him get the playoff spot. He's 93. He's fallen even farther. He started the season as a 94 overall. So, like I said, they got the Philadelphia Flyers in the first round. Possible matchup against Carolina in the second round. That's another rival of theirs. The Devils made quick work of the Philadelphia Flyers, winning in 5 games. Well, they'd be a bit closer than that. Of course, they're going to face the Carolina Hurricanes in the next round. Paul Bissonnette has 6 points in 5 games. Another 4-1 victory over the Carolina Hurricanes. Now the New Jersey Devils, Paul Bissonnette is 1 series away from the finals again. All he needs to do is go through the defending Stanley Cup Bruins, see if they can get it done. Paul Bissonnette only has 8 points in 10 games. He's actually not even close to, well, I guess he's close, but not as high as he'd think he'd be in the playoffs. But let's go ahead and see what the teams look like. Paul Bissonnette, Zari, and Kako. Then we got Kidd, Martinook, and David, Commodore, Kovacs, and Glebov. Garrison, Lornetz, and Mihalik. Man, that center depth is so weak. I can't believe they've gotten this far, but it's pretty impressive they have. Bales and Jensen, McElhaney and Lettinen and Jarvinen and Tucker, and their goalie is still Koshevnikov. Interesting. The Boston Bruins, they got Brendan Boss. Jack Stanicka's still here. They look pretty identical offensively, quite honestly, except the fact that I think New Jersey is slightly better on the wings. What about their defense? Boston's defense is awful, so I don't understand how they've gotten this far. The goalies are at least pretty decent. He's 86, so it's a pretty evenly matched matchup. I think we actually hold the edge. And sure enough, we did have the edge as we won in 6 games. I assimilated 1 game by accident. In the finals here against the Arizona Coyotes, fitting Paul Bissonnette versus the Arizona Coyotes. I don't think the New Jersey Devils have lost in the Stanley Cup finals yet, so let's go ahead and check to see how good Paul Bissonnette is doing and what the Arizona Coyotes have on their team. Paul Bissonnette definitely picked up his play. 17 games played, he's got 18 points now, 8 goals and 10 assists, so he's definitely coming for another title. So the Coyotes have Yaroslav Likachev, Mats Bang, and Igor Chinakhov as their top line. They got Jack Hughes. No, he's coming for revenge. And Lucas Raymond on the second line. Defensively, they have a pretty decent. Oh, I shouldn't say decent. It's actually quite crap. Defensive core. Goaltending, they have Ty Doan, Shane Doan's long-lost son, playing nets for the Arizona Coyotes. It's fitting. So we know the Coyotes are up 1-0, and this is the battle of Jack Hughes versus Paul Bissonnette, who really brought that team to glory. Let's find out as we simulate through these games. And the Coyotes take a 2-0 lead. Will this be the first team to beat the New Jersey Devils? The Devils try to rally back 2-1. Coyotes go up 3-1. This could very well be the end of the Devils' undefeated Stanley Cup streak. And sure enough it is, as the Arizona Coyotes not really led, but having Jack Hughes on their team, are able to beat Paul Bissonnette's New Jersey Devils. Matt Boldy won the Art Ross, Emmerich won the Hearts, Emmerich won the James Norris, Lady Bing went to Juan, Colin Memorial went to Boys, Conn Smythe went to Bang, Vesna went to Doan, William Jennings went to Sogard, the Frank Jaselki went to Ebbets, Ted Lindsay went to Emmerich, and Corbin won the Maurice Richard. And Connor McDavid has decided to get the F out of the league as he finishes with 2,097 points. Holy crap, what a career for Connor McDavid, that is for sure. Doesn't really look like the New Jersey Devils did anything to change up their roster. It's actually gotten worse. I think Capo Caco is either retired, or I didn't see him in the retired list. Maybe he's in the free agency and just fell off a cliff. Paul Bissonnette's dropped to a 92 overall now. Here are his stats. This is his last year of his $12 million deal. Could be the last year of his career, but I'm pretty sure he'll play till like at least 40. Goalies, Askarov, all right, that's not bad. Yaroslav Askarov and nets, and defensively they got Vowles and Jensen, and that's about it. Who knows? We'll see. New Jersey Devils continue to impress as they're 82 points in 63 games played, second place in the Metropolitan. A little bit close to Philly, but a bit of a gap against the New York Islanders. So I assume they'll make the playoffs. Paul Bissonnette is 4th on the team in scoring. 44 points in 63 games played, 24-20. It seems like he's really falling off as he's a 91 overall. Oh, yeah, he's falling off, all right. New Jersey Devils are that close to being the top seed in the Metropolitan, but instead they're going to face Philadelphia Flyers for what seems like the 4th year in a row. Paul Bissonnette finishing with 57 points, 31 goals, 26 assists, 212 penalty minutes. I hope it adds up his penalty minutes at the end of the season, or at the end of his career. 33 fights as a 36-year-old. My God, old man strength. And sure enough, New Jersey versus Philadelphia, a rivalry as old as time. A chance to face off against another rival in the Pittsburgh Penguins or the Montreal Canadiens for the first time ever. And the New Jersey Devils sweep the Philadelphia Flyers. Pittsburgh almost sweeping Montreal, but they lost 1 game, so this should be a good battle between the two Metropolitan foes. Paul Bissonnette has 5 points in 4 games, so he's playing up to par. But not playing good enough because the Pittsburgh Penguins beat us in 6 games, knocking us out of the playoffs. That could very well be Paul Bissonnette's last playoff chance if he does retire at the end of this year. And Paul Bissonnette finished with 4-4 for 8 points in 10 games. Paul Bissonnette decides he doesn't want to go on a losing season, but Jack Hughes, a former teammate of Paul Bissonnette, and Nico Hischier both go out this season. Nico Hischier actually having a better career than Jack Hughes. Played a lot more games, though, so... The Pittsburgh Penguins went on to win the Stanley Cup, and Yaroslav Askarov actually went on to win the Vezina, so good for him. Paul Bissonnette has dropped down to an 87 overall, and he signed a new 2-year contract, possibly his last contract ever. $10 million, almost 11. It's a great contract for him. He made a lot of money in the NHL, that's for sure. It looks like he's probably going to continue his career, or finish his career, I should say, with the Devils. Who knows, though? At the end of this 2 years, he might go somewhere else, but it's more than likely that he'll stay at the Devil his entire career. It looks like the New Jersey Devils are trying to beef up those top 2 lines for Paul Bissonnette in his last possible 2 years, as he's got Tim Stützle, or Stützle, however you want to pronounce his name, as a centerman now. 2 old men, going at it together. They also got Kidd, who is the kid of the line. He's 25 years of age. And then they brought in Yahir Rivers as a second-line center. Defensively, Bales is still doing well. Hedberg comes in. Jensen's still here. And they're okay defensively, I guess. They have a pretty good top left D and a top right D. And then in nets, they still got Askarov, so it's a chance they could push for a cup this year. And sure enough, the New Jersey Devils right now are the top seed in the Metropolitan Division, only 2 points ahead of the Philadelphia Flyers, but they got 2 games at hand, so I think they're in a good, comfortable position right now. Sure enough, Paul Bissonnette is 5th now on the list of players, so the lower he goes, the better they do. He's got 50 points, 62 games played, 17 goals, 33 assists. Him and Tim Stützle, the 2 old men, are delivering the points that they need to be delivering at that age, that's for sure. 87 overall is Paul Bissonnette. There's his stats if you wanted to see them. And the New Jersey Devils do finish top of the Metropolitan and once again top of the conference. I don't know if they're the best in the league. No, they weren't. They were off by 1 point, very close to the President's Trophy. But second best team in the league is pretty damn good. Biznasty finished with 23 goals, 44 assists, 67 points. It was a plus 18, 202 penalty minutes. How many fights does this guy have as a 37-year-old? That's what I want to know. That's what really matters now. 29 fights. This guy's throwing the fists like crazy. Still an 87 overall. Let's see who they got in the first round matchup. The Carolina Hurricanes, no surprises there, with a chance to face off against Columbus or Philly in the next round if they're able to get through. New Jersey Devils make quick work of the Hurricanes, winning 4-1, but the Philadelphia Flyers swept the Columbus Blue Jackets 4-0. So it's another brutal series against the Flyers. We'll see how this one goes, but first let's check how Paul Bissonnette did. He only had 2 points in 5 games, so he's going to have to step up his play if they want to beat the Philadelphia Flyers, that's for sure. And the Philadelphia Flyers say nope and beat him in 5. That's too bad for Paul Bissonnette and the New Jersey Devils. Bissonnette did pick up his play. He finished with 7 points in 10 games, but he was a -4, so that's not great. Alexis Lafreniere has decided to retire after almost 1,500 games played in the NHL, a pretty good career for the #1 pick this year. The Flyers went on to win the Stanley Cup. Askarov won himself another Vezina. It's back-to-back Vezinas now. It looks like Capo Caco's come back to the New Jersey Devils, but Paul Bissonnette has fallen to an 86 and is the second-line winger now. That is not good. He's playing with Wells and Beauregard. It's looking bad for his career right now. This is his last year in this deal, so we'll see if he decides to retire after this year or not. I have no idea if he will. Who knows with this game. They got a really good 1-2 punch in the top line here, but that's about it. And as Askarov still their goalie is, so they have a chance. The New Jersey Devils are 3rd in the Metropolitan this season. Probably, maybe the last season of Paul Bissonnette. Who knows? 79 points right now. They got a pretty good lead over to Carolina, so I'm pretty sure they're going to make the playoffs. Paul Bissonnette's actually 3rd on the team. Perfect position for Paul Bissonnette and the New Jersey Devils to go for a long run. 59 games played, 54 points. 30 goals, 24 assists. He's an 86 overall. The Paul Bissonnette Devils finished 105 points. Pretty good. The Metropolitan's been very, very strong throughout this entire sim, that's for sure. Bissonnette finished 4th with 67 points, 37 games played, 30 assists. Had 191 penalty minutes, my goodness. And he had how many fights as a 38-year-old? 27 fights. This boy's got more fights in like a season than most professional boxers do in their career. And of course, it's the Philadelphia Flyers again in the first round. And the Flyers win this one, and possibly the last time we'll ever see New Jersey versus Philadelphia with Paul Bissonnette on the team. Just have to wait and see. This could be his last year. And Paul Bissonnette finished with 3 points in 6 playoff games. It looks like Paul Bissonnette will be going at least one more year. Shane Wright, a guy drafted a year after him, retired before he did. So Bissonnette, I guess, wants another cup. Maybe he wants to stay with New Jersey a couple more years. Let's find out what he's going to do. The Vegas Golden Knights won the cup. Paul Bissonnette is staying with the New Jersey Devils just like I thought he would. Another 2-year deal, just over $10 million this time. There's potential that he could actually retire after the end of this year, or he'll play at another 2, and then he'll play at another 2, and then another 2, and another 2, and we'll be here forever. Paul Bissonnette's fallen to an 85 now. He's playing with Sawyer and Solis. This team is A lot of 70s. No one's broken a 90 on the top line. That's not great. Defensively, though, Bales continues to get better year after year, so good for him, I guess. And do we still have Askarovanets? We don't. Oh, no. I don't know what you're thinking, Bissonnette. You should have retired last year, but watch you prove me wrong. Look at that. The New Jersey Devils actually made a big deal. They got Bruin, Fox, and a 4th-round pick for Hedberg in a 3rd. I have no idea who any of those players are. They also got rid of their best defenseman, so I can't imagine the season's going too well because they just picked up Olis in a 2nd and a 3rd. And sure enough, they are in 7th place in the Metropolitan, 61 points. They are essentially 12 points back of a guaranteed playoff spot, so it's not looking likely that's going to happen, especially after trading off their best defenseman. Paul Bissonnette's got 40 points, 14 goals, 26 assists, but it's not looking like his team's going to make the playoffs this year. The Devils missed out on the playoffs, finishing with 77 points in 82 games played. Paul Bissonnette finished 3rd on the team. He had 17 goals, 40 assists for 57 points in 78 games played. He is an 84 overall. Here are his stats right now. 39 years of age. How many fights is a 39-year-old? 24. The boy keeps... This guy had more fights than he stole, man. Who was he? He's a two-way forward. He's throwing 39 fists a game. Jesus. Ronald Piper retired. The Pittsburgh Penguins won the Stanley Cup. Paul Bissonnette's fallen to the 3rd line as a 39-year-old. He'll be 40 at the end of the season. 82, was he 82 overall now? 82 overall. That's not great, but you know, it's still pretty good for a 39-year-old, let's be honest. You can see his speed is definitely falling off a cliff right now. We'll see if he retires at the end of this year, because it's not looking good for the New Jersey Devils with this kind of lineup they have right now. Yeah, they have no good defense, and who's their goalie? Watton? Yeah, I don't expect much. I simulated the entire season because my brain turned to mush at this point. The Devils finished last in the Metropolitan with 65 points. Not great. Paul Bissonnette was so far down the line on his team points. 77 games played, 41 points, minus 20. I think it's time to call it a career, Paul, at the age of 40. 82 overall, yeah. Paul Bissonnette at the age of 40, now retired, refuses. Paul Bissonnette is a free agent. He's not going to go back. Well, he could go back, but he's probably not going to go back to the Jersey Devils. We'll see if he goes chasing for a cup or if he's just looking for that money. Paul Bissonnette is signed with the New York Islanders, staying in the division. Ooh. He signed a 1-year, $2 million, almost $3 million deal. I imagine this will definitely be his last deal, as he's an 81 overall now. The New York Islanders have him on the 2nd line with Martinook and McBain. Their top line is not great, but they're very, very well balanced out, that's for sure. Defensively, they are freaking terrible, and goaltending, they are equally terrible, so I don't know what he was deciding on just signing with another team. He should have just retired. And the New York Islanders finished dead last. The Devils did way better than they did. Let's see what Paul Bissonnette did this season. Paul Bissonnette finished with 52 points in 76 games. That's pretty decent for a 41-year-old. I think it's time to hang the skates up there, Paul. Mr. Biz Nasty, after a career like that. Kind of, I don't want to say you tarnish your legacy leaving the New Jersey Devils, but, you know, going over to a bum-ass team like the Islanders didn't help. He's still not retired. What is he doing? Oh, my God. I'm going to lose my shit. He's back in the free agents pool, and he went up to an 85 overall after that good season, so I guess he's got one more year left in him, or who knows, maybe he'll play longer than this career sim goes on for. I shit you not, he just signed with the Oregon Liberty, who won the Cup last year, and is the team that we're technically controlling, but I did not sign him, I guarantee you that. And he signed a 1-year, $4.34 million deal, so I don't know, I guess he is Cup chasing now. Well, the Oregon Liberty finished with 108 points, so that's a good sign for Paul Bissonnette for one more run. Bissonnette all the way down here. 59 points in 79 games played is still freaking amazing for a 42-year-old. And this is the first time we'll see Paul Bissonnette on the Western Conference in the playoffs, facing off against the Minnesota Wild. The Oregon Liberty and the Paul Bissonnette Liberty Birds go on to beat the Dallas, or go on to face the Dallas Stars after beating the Minnesota in 7 games. They got the Dallas Stars in the 2nd round of the Western Conference. Paul Bissonnette had 2 goals in 2 games played. They're not even playing them in the playoffs. Okay, that's interesting. And they got swept by Dallas Stars in 4 games. Paul Bissonnette played 5 games. He had 3 points. I don't know if he got injured or not. I have no idea, but you got to imagine that's got to be it. You played 5 playoff games, which could have played 11 in. I don't know, man. This fucking guy, man, I tell you, he's never gonna retire. He's gonna play out longer than 25 years, and we're never gonna know what he finishes with. Paul Bissonnette is now a member of the Buffalo Sabres, and he's listed as an AHL top 6 forward. He's their 2nd line winger. The team looks pretty decent on the offense. Defensively, they're not great, and in net, they are okay. So who knows? Maybe. I don't know why this boy doesn't just retire though. Buffalo Sabres didn't make the playoffs, so that could be the end. I've said that for like 5 years now of Paul Bissonnette's journey, but we'll see. Paul Bissonnette finished with 58, I should say, points in 76 games played. Pretty damn good. 100 penalty minutes for a 43-year-old. Franchise mode is now complete. I shit you not, Paul Bissonnette outlasted 25 years of franchise mode. That's ridiculous. Congrats on the career, Bissonnette. Figured we go check out the franchise leaders in the New Jersey Devils. Most points, Paul Bissonnette. Most seasons, Paul Bissonnette. 22. Most assists, Paul Bissonnette. Games played, Paul Bissonnette. Penalty minutes, Paul Bissonnette. Goals, Paul Bissonnette. The only person to get awards beside him is Martin Brodeur, and it makes sense because he's a damn goalie. Paul Bissonnette had a hell of a career in the New Jersey Devils franchise, that's for sure. As you can see, his points for how many games did he play again? It's 1,782 games played with the Devils. He had 1,606 points. So I'm going to see if I could go back and find his all-time stats, and I'll just throw them at the end of the video for you guys. But I hope you enjoyed Paul Bissonnette's career simulation as the greatest of all time. Did he finish as the greatest of all time? No, not really, but he had a really good career, that's for sure. If you guys have any ideas about future installments of this series, let me know, and I will catch you on the next one. So until next time, Herotheycallme for life. Too sweet me. There is Paul Bissonnette's career totals, by the way. 2,013 games played, 851 goals, 924 assists, 1,775 points, plus minus of 292, 4,000 plus penalty minutes. That is insane. Unfortunately, they don't have a fight counter, which is too bad. I would love to see how many fights he had. He definitely had probably close to 500, I'd say. If anyone wants to go back through the video and look and tell me, that'd be amazing, but I ain't gonna do it. So once again, hope you guys enjoyed. Till next time.